Everyone says goodbye to Rayleigh, but they've got to get out of there quick. And Luffy says, "High five, old man." But Rayleigh remembers the times he hit Luffy with a wooden crewman stick. Literally. As Luffy walks away, the Marines start sprinting full speed. Luckily, the old man is way too cool and holds them off all by himself. If they cross that line, it's going to be chaos. The Marines even try to sneak around, but the Ghost Girl is way ahead of them. Everyone ends up like Ocaran from Dandadan. No one escapes unscathed from this trickery. Of course, it had to be One Piece's resident goth queen. And from the looks of it, she's totally Sanji's type. But then again, which woman isn't, right? Zoro wastes no time telling her to scram, but what happens next? A couple's quarrel. I'm staying out of this one though. But Sanji pulls a sneaky move here, breaking some bro code for sure. Tell me in the comments if you noticed it too. Then she tells them all to hurry up and leave because we're in speedrun mode now. Superhero landing. Brook, I love you. And the first thing he does, ask to see Nami's panties. She's got a response for him, and anyone watching who didn't hit the like button. Brook notices they're missing some people for the party. But not for long, they're on their way. Cue an adorable father-son moment. Frankie spots their upgraded look right away. And Brook. He's already emotional. But he's not the only one. Reunions like this, always a tearjerker, aren't they? Nami is at her peak here, no doubt about it. But Robin isn't falling behind either. And, of course, Sanji couldn't handle all that beauty. Someone call a doctor for this man. But wait, he's already chatting with Loro Jose over there. Luffy is super hyped, especially seeing that Frankie looks like a mini Zord. Out of nowhere, Nami shouts, "Incoming bomb!" Yep, folks, the Marines have arrived. Thankfully, Boa did us all a solid here. Even Nami and Robin look surprised seeing the ever-gorgeous Boa being, well, so good at being Boa. But Boa's got complaints of her own, like that guy who cut her off without using his blinker. Even Usopp turns into Sanji for a second, completely awestruck by her beauty. If you're a Boa fan, drop a comment down below. Nami, though, asks Luffy how he knows that snake woman. Luffy casually responds, saying it was from when he accidentally bathed with her. Usopp is just stunned at how lucky this guy is. Meanwhile, Frankie activates Sonic's underwater breathing bubble. So now they can breathe down there. Usopp finds it strange that everything seems too quiet. They should have been surrounded by Marines by now. But guess what? It's the Marines who are surrounded. Thanks to the guy who shouts, "Usopp Ewan, this dude is incredible, for real." Other Marines complain they can't back anyone up. Because it started raining, and they don't have umbrellas. They're like, "Are you kidding me, man? I checked the weather, it was supposed to be sunny all day." But it turns out the wizards from Lord of the Rings are making it rain in just one part of the island. I've always thought this guy was terrifying, seriously. And another Marine is complaining, saying his men are more fed up with life than anything else in the world. Once again, the gorgeous goth queen comes to the rescue, along with the Phi-Jota squad of warrior women, who ask the Marines if they'd like some tea. If you don't leave a like on this video, you'll get their tea, you hear me? Nami gathers everyone in the corner, and explains how Sonic's bubble works. If you've played the game, you know exactly what she's talking about. But apparently, she's explaining it to thin air. Luffy chimes in, "What's up, girl? Shall we go?" Nami agrees, and then he yells, "Let's get moving already, dang it!" And off they go, diving into the depths of the sea. While we're at this commercial break, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Alright, now that you've subscribed, let's continue. Jared Leto's Joker is grumbling about digging holes, while the budget cosplayers of both Nami and Zoro are just bawling their eyes out. Looks like someone's sleeping on the couch tonight. Meanwhile, Sanji's cover band starts eating dirt. Dude's got a C-shaped beard. If you noticed it too, drop a comment below. And that hairstyle. Total Michael Jackson vibes. We see some background pirates heading to the slammer, while the police here confiscate their weapons. This version of Kuma isn't looking so great. And Sentomaru is standing there, telling the boss he really screwed up. Then we get a quick flashback of the previous episode. Because I got lazy and didn't do a recap for it. Sentomaru warns the big bosses to stay sharp. The one obsessed with power seems surprised by the strength of the Straw Hats. Wait a second, does Rayleigh date this woman? Aha, caught you, you sly old man. Cue a legendary flashback to when Rayleigh first met the king of the pirates. What's his name again, crew? Only wrong answers allowed. Back to the present, which is also kind of the past. Rayleigh gets emotional remembering his old friend. Only those who've lost a friend forever know this feeling. Meanwhile, the crew is sinking deeper and deeper away from the surface. Anyone up for some jellyfish fishing? Nami is pretty much stunned by the sight. And that guy over there? Yeah, he's gonna need a fresh pair of underwear. Brook calls everyone to take a look. And they notice the massive roots of Sabaody. Check out the size of that little fish. Zoro, though, is totally unimpressed, since he already saw all this when he got on the wrong ship. Then the same little fish shows up again. But this time, it looks a lot more aggressive. Luffy is over the moon with excitement, since he never thought he'd see the ocean floor, without being one step away from kicking the bucket. But then, the fool tries to jump out of the bubble. And Zoro, he doesn't even think twice before attempting to slice it open. Both of them get a smack upside the head to snap out of it. Before things escalate into a major disaster, Nami starts explaining more details about Sonic's bubble. But Sanji, he's sent flying, because all he saw were her assets. And Luffy, poor guy, feels his arm going weak again. He manages to pull Sanji back onto the ship, and Usopp is noticing that Sanji's thirst for women has reached a whole new level. Saw some big boobs, and now he's about to explode. Chopper says Sanji's gonna need some blood, since he lost a lot due to his infatuation. Robin couldn't care less and goes back to talking about the bubble. But Usopp tells her to be a little more human for once. Nami cuts him off though, and says it's possible to shoot the creatures without breaking your legs. But the bubble can't take multiple cuts in a row, like bites, for example, or if it crashes against a wall. Every group has its clingy person, right? Points at Brook. So keep your eyes peeled so we don't end up as a cautionary tale. But the chances of making it alive down there are only 30%. Luffy wants to go all Gatling on the fish, and Zoro challenges him to see who catches more. And, as expected, they get hit again. The hit was so strong that Luffy remembers he has extra food. And everyone gets excited because it's time for chow. Frankie asks Nami if everything's good for now. She confirms that she could even take a nap if she wanted. But Frankie says he needs to tell her something important. It turns out the octopus guy was supposed to be their guide, but he got his butt kicked and is now on Fishman Island, totally wrecked after spending all his time protecting the Sunny Warrior. Both he and the winking guy ended up screwed for doing that. So Usopp asks, well, then who protected the Sunny after that? Frankie replies that it was precisely the one who separated them. Who is he? Once again, only wrong answers allowed. So, since Frankie was the first to arrive, he saw that Kuma was all messed up, but managed to protect the ship. Frankie was about to finish the job, but the big robot decided to bail. And we get a flashback of Kuma saying, man, he still hasn't liked the video, that bastard. And after all the chaos in Sabaody, Kuma went to talk to Rayleigh again, and told him he was on his last legs, since he had agreed to be the Navy's pet. He'd already been to Vasco when we had the showdown with the big shots. Chopper doesn't understand. If he was dragged away, how could he protect the ship? But Frankie says that happened because Einstein had set up one last mission for Kuma before he left. And Kuma chose that mission to be protecting the Sunny Warrior. Usopp starts to realize that this has to do with Luffy's dad being dragon. Dragon. And Frankie says, thank Oda for creating Kuma, my friends. Now, everyone watching, comment F Kuma in honor of this warrior, because next time you see him, you'll have to knock him out. Zoro says, but there's something fishy about this, old man. Even Sanji woke up after that one. And he complains that he spent 2 years with a bunch of guys in panties, chasing him around the whole time. He asks Luffy how it was to be surrounded by a bunch of women in heat. But Brook says, "Calm down, Lion, relax a bit. Let's sing a new Linkin Park song to cheer up." But Sanji refuses because he's loyal to Chester. Meanwhile, both Orochimaru and Kabuto are hot on the Mugiwara's trail. So, there's going to be more trouble before they even reach Fishman Island. And in the next episode, we'll revisit all the trouble the Mugiwaras face against the Kraken. More of Nami's tits, jellyfish, Sanji almost puking, a special appearance by Tutubaru, and much more. And the next episode of the One Piece remake will be Adventure at the Bottom of the Sea, a lurking underwater threat. Thank you for sticking around, crew. We'll see you in the next video on the channel. Thanks and see ya!